my Z followers, and welcome back to The Question, where you have the questions and I have the answers. And I know it's so crazy, right? I've just been like making videos like every single day, like in a row, way like more often than before, which is cool because now I have like all this time being stuck at home. So, of course, next week I probably won't be able to do this because we actually have to start like doing schoolwork and whatever. But for now, I'm going to take full advantage of actually one, having my own ideas because you guys are asking me a lot of questions, and two, just having the time to do this and having the time to sit and upload the videos. Which, granted, it's gotten faster, but it's still like a good 20 minutes to upload each video, which is fair, I guess. They're longer and longer videos as opposed to my like 2 minute, short comedy videos. Comedy being a subjective term. Anyway, today's topic, which is one I've alluded to in the past few videos, but I think really needs a video of its own, which is something that I've been struggling with, I think, my whole life, but I've only like really started to come to terms with it now, is the issue of like toxic individualism. That's basically our society values being a unique individual so much that it's really just like harmful to not only us but the other people around us, and that creates the I'm not like other girls trope, which is something that you see a lot of like through middle school, high school, and maybe even to like the adult years, that I'm not like other girls. And I think you just need to talk about that and like really clear it up because it's really kind of big problem that's harmful once again to like yourself and others, and it's something that I struggled with a lot. So first of all, what is that trope? Basically, it's that I'm not like other girls trope is that you do something, you have like that sort of set stereotype of other girls, like Ugg boots, they go to Starbucks, sweatshirts, pullovers, sandy, like windblown, like blonde hair and whatever. Like that is like the stereotype. And if you do anything like other than that, or you like purposely don't do any of that, you're the I'm not like other girls and therefore I'm better, kind of looking down on those other girls. And it's like that for everyone. Everyone has that like aspect, like we can have someone who's like, oh, I'm not like those other girls. If you're looking like at an emo group and you're not emo, you're like, oh, I'm not like other girls. Or the same thing. It's like with anything. And basically it's used to keep people, sort of like keep girls, especially women, like hating each other and fighting, and we can't like unite, and like rise up against the patriarchy and whatever. Because we're too busy looking down on each other and trying to be better, when really we should just, not do that. And basically, how that all starts, and it's really like, it doesn't seem too bad, and a lot of people don't notice it, because it's kind of just like so ingrained to our society to speak and think that way, because you're like, oh, I want to be special, I'm unique. We tell each other that we're special, that we're unique, we're the only one of us. And that's cool. It's nice to be uplifting, where it's like, yeah, you're special, you're important. But then it's when someone uses, like, someone degrades somebody else to bring you up. That's when it gets to that like toxic, really bad point. And a lot of parents and just like advisors when we're young do that, I think, without even thinking about it. That's such like a natural thing to do. Like when I was young, so this is another, once again, an issue that I've had. When I was young, I used to like be interested in things that, well, I was interested in things that other people weren't interested in. But I was also interested in things that like people were interested in. But my parents would always focus on the things that I wasn't, that like I didn't have in common with other people, and they're like, oh my god, you're so good because you are so unique, you're so like this, you like this, you don't like this thing. But it's like, in reality, I liked both things. And but they always praised, me liking this unique, different thing, out of the box thing, and instead of like made it seem like liking that other thing was a bad thing. It's like, good example would be like boy bands. Like when I was younger, like in the older parts of elementary school, One Direction was a really big thing, and like I really liked One Direction, but everybody really liked One Direction. And so I would listen to Pink and like 80s music like the Beatles, which is actually the 60s and 70s, but like that older sort of like stuff. and because that's what my parents listened to. So of course I naturally grew up liking it because my parents always listened to it, and so I'd listen to that, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, like this is so great that you're listening to these things, and it's like it's not One Direction, it's not anything else." And like if I even showed any sense of liking it, my dad would tease me remorselessly about it. So it's like they sort of created this stigma around liking popular pop music, and so I would try very hard to prove that I was better than that and try and like all these different things. Even though I really did like that pop music, it was a bad thing if I did, so I couldn't. And that sort of like that kind of thinking goes on in mind, at least every single girl, guy maybe. I don't know about guys, but I know at least for every like girl that goes through your head, because everyone's like, you need to be an individual, you need to go and do this, and they'll like mock the girls who like that common trend. You see all of the posts about, oh, like your dumb blondes with their vente frappuccinos and their UGG boots and their sweatshirts and their iPods and whatever and their AirPods, and it's like, why can't people just like what they like? It's like people like Starbucks. If Starbucks is good, then you should like Starbucks. Sweatshirts are comfortable, like sweatshirts. UGG boots are once again comfortable, like UGG boots. It's the dumbest thing, but we all sort of go through it. And all that does is it creates like hate and negativity towards ourselves and to other women. And it isolates us, because it's like now, and it isolates us, and it causes a lot of stress and anxiety, because now you have to be your own person, you have to be a unique individual, but you can't like the things that you actually like, because that's bad if other people like it. But at the same time, you need to try and find something new that you like. But there's nothing ever new, like new. So it's like, even if you don't like the mainstream girly type stuff, there's gonna be a whole thousands of people who like that unique stuff too. Because really, we just crave to belong. So even if we want to be unique, we're gonna want to fit into a group somewhere. But it's that not wanting to fit into a group because we've learned that fitting into groups is bad. But we don't want to be alone and isolated. And that's what's really like harmful about that trope and about that whole way of thinking. Because it's nice to be unique, and it's great to embrace your differences, but I think we should also be taught to embrace the similarities that we do have with people and find solace in those things, because it's really comforting when you get older to learn that you're not alone in certain experiences or certain tastes and preferences. And it's harmful that we should think that we have to be, completely like above everyone else. It sounded so like well rehearsed in my head, as everything does. But, this kind of just went on to a whole long rant, but I don't really regret it, because this is a big issue I've been having, because I wanted to change. I have really like thick, sort of like long hair, then I cut it. Obviously, you guys saw I cut it. You can see that I cut it. And because a while ago, I dyed it black, which you guys also saw, and I went through a few different hairstyles. I wanted to find that like individual thing, because like brown hair was boring, because I had really straight brown hair as a kid, and now it's more wavy. And darker, I think. That's weird. It's darker. And so that was boring, so I wanted to dye my hair. And then I got into the whole like emo thing, and now it's like I figured out, I didn't want my long hair, so I cut it. I wanted to be different, but I realized I didn't really like it cut. And so I was like, I wanted to get an undercut and then like maybe dye it a few colors. And I was like, oh well, I don't want to do that because everybody else does that. And that was a whole thing for a while. Everybody had undercuts, like last year and the year before. And I didn't want to fit in, but I'm like, that is something that I want to do, but I can't do it because then I'll be like everybody else. Same thing with Instagram. I recently got Instagram, and it was a really big struggle, because it's like everybody always praised me for not having social media, because I wasn't like every other teenager that didn't have social media. But I really, really wanted it because I want to connect to like my friends and sort of be in the loop, especially now that we're in quarantine. I can't just see everybody and talk about everything all the time. And texting only goes so far, and people are a lot, and like all those people who I don't have like their number, I can't connect with. Like all my friends in like other countries, for those exchange students who went back last year, I can't talk to them. My dance friends, I can't talk to them. So it was like I wanted this way to connect, but it was like I want Instagram, but I didn't want people to stop. I didn't, because I got all this positive attention for not having it. And so I did think, I was like, oh yeah, I'm better than everybody else because I don't have social media. But it was lonely because everybody had all these like cool things that they could talk about, and these people that they met, and these things that they saw, and like I didn't have that. It was, once again, it was nice to get this praise and attention, to feel like you're superior, but it's isolating. When they say it's lonely at the top, it really is lonely at the top, because we're taught to just look down on each other, and that's not right. It's not right. So I guess the big takeaway is that if you're interested in something, you should pursue that thing, whether other people are doing it or not, because there's no harm in doing what somebody else is doing. It can even be reassuring. If someone likes one thing and you're afraid what's going to happen, if you're anxious because you don't know anything about it, just be like, oh, well, these bunch of people are doing it and they're, okay, which means it's safe for you to do it. It's kind of like a weird way of thinking, but it helps, because like if this person can do it, then obviously you can do it. It can be done. So just embrace what makes you unique. Embrace anything that makes you feel special, but embrace those commonalities that you have, because we need to work on becoming like closer together and more connected and just more respectful, more everything. And it's great to want to be unique, but it's harmful when you start to use that uniqueness, that specialty, to look down on others and think that you're superior. Because none of us are God. None of us are gods. And everybody always has something in common with someone else. And you shouldn't try and like change yourself to have anything in common with someone. That's the thing. You need to embrace what comes naturally to you. Like if you like a certain type of music and you don't like a certain type of music, you shouldn't try and like make yourself like that type of music, because if you don't like it, you don't like it for a reason, and maybe that reason will change as you get older. You don't know. Bodies, personalities, people are weird, interesting, and beautiful creatures because we're always changing, we're always evolving. So don't like sweat it if you aren't exactly like someone else, or you don't have something the same as somebody else, or you're not like special in the way you want. Because if you want something, then you should work at it. You should make goals for yourself. You shouldn't just be complacent, but you should embrace those things that you have, those, whether it's something you have only to yourself or something you have in common with someone else. Embrace what you have, but always set goals to be better. That's the takeaway. Okay. I love all of you. Please comment below what your thoughts are on this. Maybe you have your own stories. If you have any questions you want me to answer, I would love to hear them in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And share this with a friend who you think this would benefit, or maybe just, show it to your mom, show it to your grandma. Stay safe, wash your hands. Don't overload on toilet paper. Wear your masks when you go outside. But also, don't be too hard on people who are coughing or sneezing or not wearing masks, because there are a multitude of reasons of why they could be or why they aren't wearing masks. Than the fact, you can't just assume that they're being disrespectful and that they're awful people if they are coughing and sneezing, or that they have corona. It's allergy season. I can't go out of the house without sneezing and having my eyes tear up and my throat hurt. I don't have corona. I'm just super allergic to pollen. So just be kind to each other. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. I love you all.